Hello,
Everyone.
everyone. It's Riel here. It's Cup of Tea, and today I am joined by PRIYESH PATEL, a self-fulfillment coach. Thank you so much for joining me, Priyesh. Appreciate you coming on the show, the virtual show now. I miss doing my in-person interviews, man, but you know it is what it is. We do it over Zoom. I just want to hand it over to you briefly, Priyesh, just to introduce yourself, talk a little bit about how you got into coaching and what it is you actually tackle with your coaching.
Yeah, man. First of all, thanks for bringing me through. Basically, long story short, kind of went down a standard career route back in the day. Studied maths at uni, kind of went into accounting, and it was all kind of like pushed towards me from like a parent kind of side of things, albeit they didn't realize they were doing it. It was just like, you need to have like a good job in life, and you need to have like a big house eventually, you need to have a flashy car, you need to have savings, be financially stable, get married at a certain age, all of that nonsense. And so I studied my ACA. 2 years into it, I realized, this wasn't for me. I realized that I wanted something more fulfilling rather than something just for the sake of it, because as we know, life's too short. Life's too short to just go around and have things just be okay. So I thought eventually, at some point, once I finish this qualification, I need to go and find me and do what's right by me. And I've always liked helping people. And I don't know, as soon as I finished, I was like, I need to quit. I want to get out of here. I want to go do some traveling. I really want to get involved with some charity work. The plan this year was to fly out to Kenya to maybe do some teaching or help building schools or something like that across that platform, and maybe getting involved with some like volunteering work with like animals and stuff. Always been a passion of mine, and I thought, why not 2020, let's start. And then COVID, and so kind of like had to take a back seat there, and then got into coaching. Saw this school, it was fantastic, and it kind of like changed my whole mindset. I never once considered coaching, maybe doing motivational speaking at some point, or helping companies out on that front, but I never thought coaching could be that avenue. And then a few months later, got myself certified, and here I am. I'm helping out clients, help millennials in particular, just work on personal growth and work towards a fulfilling life. So anything towards confidence or battling your fears and challenges that are coming up. I'm the man that kind of people come and speak to. We have a conversation, and if they want to work towards it further, we have those coaching conversations, and we go from there.
Oh, amazing. That is incredible. The amount of times I've heard someone list their ambitions and dreams and plans for 2020, and then COVID hit. And it's like, literally that's it. And then COVID. And it's just like, yeah, it's tough. Very amazing. Very particular time as well that we're going through in this whole coronavirus pandemic, with people's mental health, so what a time it is to be a coach as well. And now, because a lot of people that really maybe haven't experienced certain mental health challenges in their life, this is the first time they're really experiencing it, with the whole multiple lockdowns and this new experience of being taken outside of their regular routine.
Exactly.
People are, for the first time, really starting to understand mental health. And when you get into a bad spot, I think sometimes it is quite natural to reach out for help. But of course, sometimes societal standards come into play, and, certain stigma around talking about mental health, which of course is being tackled more now. But, there's always improvements that can be made. And I think it's important for even just videos like this to go out, where you're a coach, and we're talking about mental health, and we're talking about what you do and confidence and self-fulfillment, because it kind of normalizes the act of talking about mental health. It's just sometimes people underestimate putting that kind of energy out into the atmosphere. So appreciate what you do, and I think it's amazing what you do, Priyesh. Today we're going to talk actually about, I haven't tackled this on the show before or spoken about this before. I don't know. I just think this is going to be an interesting topic. We're going to talk about emotional healing after you've gone through a breakup, basically. You've gone through a breakup, that fresh sense of heartbreak, and the time that comes after that, the subsequent moments after that, where maybe you're in this sort of deep depressive state, you might feel a little bit anxious, and especially sometimes when you've had, I remember for me, when I had my sort of, I guess you could say, heartbroken for the first time, I experienced a lot of new emotions that I'd never experienced before in my life. And I just thought, I kind of had this like, oh, I'm done, I can't deal with this, kind of like, what is going, I never experienced these before in my life, Priyesh, and it was all just so new to me. And I think as well, because it was so abrupt as well, everything was going so great and then crash, it just really, it really hit hard. And I think it's great to have you on and see the side of, like, some people don't, like, for me, I didn't understand exactly these emotions that I was feeling during that difficult time. So yeah, I think it's great to have you on and to sort of get your perspective, a coach's perspective, on what is going on in the mind and heart of these of people that do go through breakups, and the sort of imminent depressive feelings that come after that. What's your initial thoughts on that?
Heartbreak, it sucks. I'll be honest with you, my man. Like, it's not an easy thing to get through. And one thing I've come to terms with and realized is the fact that you've got to take it at your own pace. Like, number one rule is that you have to be patient with heartbreak. Like, you're going to go through all the feels, the emotions, you're going to get the pain, you're going to go through depression at some points, and you can't rush that process. Like, one thing I've picked up on from, like, when I went through heartbreak, I did like loads of YouTube video researches on how to, like, help manage myself in the position I was in. And one of the things I stumbled upon was the fact that relationships differ. Every person's relationship is different. So you can have like a really like close relationship, a romantic relationship, depending on how long you spend with your ex, maybe like a spiritual relationship where the connection is going to be a lot harder for you to actually like take yourself away from each other. So, like, from my experience, I went out with my ex for like 5.5 years, and we were like best friends. And so, coming out of that situation, it was a bit like, Pri, don't just rush it right now, because you could just jump on apps and start swiping right, but what's that doing for you? And there was a point where I did jump on apps, and I realized like, yo, I'm not in the right mind frame right now to actually date anyone. Why am I even here, kind of thing. And so I had to go through that process and realize that you don't just rush it. You got to take your time with it. You've got to start loving yourself first, start accepting the decision that was made. Sometimes you just need to get closure at times, and there's certain things that you need to do in that front. But yeah, no, it's a tough one. It is a tough one. But my number one rule and tip is be patient with the process. It's going to hurt, but you can't just get over it overnight, kind of thing.
What is that defense mechanism when someone goes for a breakup and then sort of instantly they have this urge to jump on a dating app, swipe right, and do all this and meet various people and whatnot? What is that urge to do that? What is the healing attached to that? Can you describe that?
I think, especially like in the generation we're in right now, it's that instant gratification. It's having someone there. Once you lose someone, it's more of a case of, I need someone there right now. I need a rebound. And it's the word is need. The word need comes into play. I need this. I need that. Why? Who's told you that you need this? And because it's been fed in from other people, it makes you feel like you need to do this right now. In reality, what you want is to maybe conversate back with your ex. You want to have that conversation again. You want that closure, but now you feel like you need to jump on an app and just turn your back on them. No, really, you want to still work on it because you're heartbroken. But you've been told you need to do what? Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, whatever it is. You need to get on those things. It comes from a place of people telling you need to rather than what it is you want to do. And when you start listening to yourself more, that changes the game, because then you realize you don't want to actually meet anyone right now. You don't want to just start talking to anyone just for the sake of it. What you really want to do is just understand why things happen and sit with it for a bit. And then move on from it on that front. And one thing I did personally was I'm quite fortunate. So I've got family and friends who've always been quite supportive. One of my best friends is my next door neighbor. Been there for me since the age of 1, kind of thing. So she's like a fairy godmother kind of thing. And she's the kind of person that who I could speak to, who we'd have conversations where they'd get deep, but there'd be no judgment there. So it's basically, she was like a coach, but she didn't realize she was doing it. We used to have like a cup of tea, we used to chill, we used to talk. I could get my emotions out, she could speak to me about her stuff. And it's, again, that healing process. How many teas do I need to go for? How many times do I need to speak to her on the phone? How many times do I need to go there and just cry if I need to, kind of thing? But it's having that person there and going through that healing process. And I feel that what people do nowadays is just, nah, forget that. I don't want to go through the pain. I'd rather just jump on it straight away. But reality of it is that by you trying to go 2 steps ahead, it's going to hit you later.
It catches up with you.
You know, you're going to end up falling up for someone. Oh, this is what I personally feel like. Don't get me wrong, I might be right. I personally feel that you're going to fall for someone you don't really want to be with, or you're going to start maybe doing things you didn't really want to do because in the back of your mind, you haven't let your ex go yet.
Yeah, yeah. Priyesh, can I ask you actually? Sometimes people go through these, like especially with fresh breakups when it's just happened. The days after, it seems that some people go through a very awkward phase of wanting them back, but also wanting to prove a point at the same time. Like, I don't need you. I can succeed and thrive without you. Oh, but my heart is telling you that I want you back. And the breakup, and those are all very natural feelings to want someone back after you've spent so long with them. And, you know, when you're in a relationship, you develop routines with this person. You call after work, you text them at night, you text morning in the morning. And, you know, when that's all taken away from you, it's very natural to want that back. And sometimes if you're the one that's being broken up with, sometimes it even comes from your emotions lead you to an even more spiteful place where you want to get back with them just so you can end it, you know? So it really changes you as a person sometimes as well, you know, and that might not be you, but your emotions are just so driven and your emotional state is so heightened after this fresh breakup, that you're sort of, you can be led in different directions, you know. So, but just to rein that back in for a second, sometimes people have this urge to text their ex, you know, they want to just text them and just say, either miss you or hey, they just want to test the water and just see where things are. What would your advice be to someone that feels like they should be texting their ex? Should they text their ex if they're having these conflicting thoughts in their mind of, I want them back, but I also want to show them I can thrive? What's the right move there?
The right move is, there is no right move. Everyone is going to go by it their own ways, because reality of it is that your breakup could be completely different to my breakup. You know, you may just be going through like a small hurdle right now, and it's not the be all and end all. Maybe your ex is just waiting for you to reach out to them. So maybe you should reach out to them and you patch things up, you work on it, and everything's all fine. Whereas in some other cases, they're like, your ex really wants some time away from you to actually get with their thoughts on whether or not they actually want to be with you long term. Or maybe you've done something wrong and now you still feel like you want that routine. Let's not escape the fact that, what if you cheated on them and they've now broken up with you and now you want to get back with them because of the routine? It's not necessarily going to work like that, you know? So the way I look at it, my advice is, again, it all comes down with the whole timing thing. When people I hear try to like message them back straight away, it all comes from a place of, because you haven't got them anymore, you want to do the first thing you can do to try and get back in their life again. And when you try and stunt and say that you're okay without them and you could do anything you want to do without them and you're God's gift right now and you're loving life, all of that nonsense, it's all coming from a place of hurt and pain. And you're just doing it to put on a show. And this is why I said you've got to genuinely take a step back and just sit with it. You know, it's fine for you to feel this way. It's fine for you to say you still miss them. But don't try and... Who are you showcasing this for? For yourself or for everyone else around you? And this is a separate topic. You know, it's because of what people are going to think right now. So you feel like you need to do something to show to the world and all your friends and all your family that you're okay. Really, you don't want to do that. So my advice is on that front, it's generally like, ask yourself, what is it that you really want to do? It's as simple as that. What do you want to do? Do you want to reach out to them? Reach out to them. Do you want to take some time away from them? Take some time away from them. Do you want to respect their decision? Well, then respect their decision. If you don't, you do what it is that you really want to do. And it's always like a tricky one because everyone's situation is always different. But my advice is from experience, give them that time and give them that break, and it gives you a chance also to reflect on whether or not you still want to be with them in the long run. You know, can you cope without them? Can you cope with this new routine? And it's going to be not great to deal with at the beginning, but in due course and in time and years later or months later, when you're ready to move on, you will move on, and you'll be at a place where you realize that was just an experience that you have to go through to be where you are right now.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there. Oh man. I think one sort of universal thing, one sort of universal sort of a universal feeling that people have is they want closure. You know, that's something that is quite a general aspect. You know, people feel like they want to reach out to their ex or say something. Sorry, my alarm's gonna go off. They want to reach out to their ex. They want to somehow make contact with them again. And sometimes they even want to go through a friend and just to get their thoughts on what they're thinking, because they just want that closure. Because sometimes it is left quite abrupt, like mine was, you know. And I think now that I'm even thinking about it, that's what I needed, closure. You know, something I never got. But yeah, some people do need closure. So, you know, when you say that, you know, let it breathe and just take your time and look inward, what about the people that have this yearning for closure and they feel like they need it to function? Is there anything specifically they should be doing that could help them reach that?
For sure, for sure. You said the word need again. All right, it's whether you want closure or not.
Yeah,
That's the way I look at it. No, but it's totally fine, because I was in the same boat where I did it differently. I accepted the fact that the breakup was in. I handled it completely differently, and then realized later that, yo, I kind of want closure because I never really got it.
But the thing is, they feel like they need it. You see,
yeah.
They feel
I
like
hear
they
you.
need closure. Like this is the only thing that will sort of help them get to go to move on, basically. You know,
Exactly.
might not be the case, and it is about accepting what you want, and it's not necessarily what you need, but you feel like you need it. You know, and I think that still matters, because it feels like a necessity when in actuality it's not. You know, you have to get over that still.
For sure, for sure. One exercise that comes to mind, obviously it depends on the situation, whether or not you can have that conversation with them. If you can and you really want to do it, by all means, maybe it's the right thing for you to do. But if you feel like it's uncomfortable to go back in that position and have that conversation, albeit you want it, one thing I got told to do when I was being coached around this particular area was the fact that, why don't you write a letter, but don't click send. So write an email, whatever it is, write a letter, write everything that you want to say, and then write everything you feel they are going to say back to what you've just said. So you get their feelings, their response. You basically have got your closure without actually having that conversation. Now, if that's not served you any justice, how can you then reword it to get the response you want? And that could change the game. It worked for me. Like, I realized I didn't actually have to have this conversation with my ex. I'm choosing.
That is genius. That is genius. That is genius. I like that.
It's not always going to work, because sometimes people still want to have that conversation. But it's definitely an alternative way where you don't necessarily have to go through that uncomfortable situation.
Yeah, it helps you kind of see things from their perspective, because as you're writing that letter back to yourself, you're really tapping into their mind, or your sort of interpretation of their mind, and that, in a sense, is some essence of closure. Which is, I think that is really, really an important one to take into consideration. Something I've never thought about, something I've never really heard of, I don't think. Did you come up with that?
Nah. I did. I wish I did. It's a great exercise.
I was going to say, I was like, where did that come from? But
on the back of that, there's another one as well. One more quick one.
Yeah.
In regards to like forgiveness. So within that letter, write you forgive them for everything that they've done. And write the response to that letter of forgiveness as well. And I guarantee you that will help change the game, because you will then come to a place where you're ready to let go, and you're forgiving them for everything they've done to you, and you're forgiving them for this whole relationship, whatever it is, and you'll be quite comfortable moving forward.
Man, absolutely. Speaking some truths there, Priyesh. Thank you for that.
No,
Priyesh, we are going to round up now. If you could, just the last thing, if you could put a couple of ideas together as simply as you can, but effectively also, if you know, what kind of advice or sort of exercises do you think people could do that are very accessible and quite easy and will help, that are going through sort of the emotional challenge of a breakup at whatever stage it is? You know, they're heartbroken, their heads all over the place. You know, they don't know what to do with themselves. What would you say is a initial response from you? How would you put that simply? A couple of exercises that you could just, you know,
definitely.
action.
So that communication exercise is good for closure.
Mm-hmm.
Adding the forgiveness in there, that'd be fantastic. But a few free things that I definitely would recommend people to do, and albeit it's quite comfortable, jump on YouTube and watch a bunch of videos that you feel are going to help you. When you hear someone else's message and it resonates with you, you're going to be able to see what they've done, and that's going to help you, kind of thing. Another one is spend time with the close ones that like show you love, because that's what you're missing right now. Okay, whether that's your family, your friends, whoever it is, spend time with them. And this is such a big thing right now, obviously within the space of mental health and well-being, that people don't actually seek help or go ask for help. You don't have to go get yourself a coach or a therapist or a counselor. You don't need any of that. Just reach out to someone. I had my next door neighbor with me. Do you understand? Like, you have friends and family you can pick up the phone and speak to, and just express your story to them. Tell them what you're going through, and have them let them bring their shoulder for you to cry on if necessary. Do you know what I mean? Those are definitely some free things that I would put out there, because I feel I did it a lot, and I'm proud to say I did it, and it helped me get to where I am right now. And I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily do that. They keep it enclosed within, and that bothers them. You know, you pick up bad habits from like not really saying what it is that how you're feeling or what you're going through. So there's definitely a few free things that I definitely throw out there for sure.
Amazing. I think those are all very, very valid and poignant, especially at this time. Priyesh, thank you so much for joining me, having a cup of tea. Honestly, really, really appreciate you got that. Really appreciate you coming through, and it would be amazing to have you back on the show as well, because oh man, this has been really fun, and I think really informative as well. Yeah, just really want to show you appreciation, say thank you for coming on, because I really feel blessed to have you on the show. It's been amazing, I think.
I appreciate that. No, it's been good. I'm enjoying what you're doing, my man. I'm enjoying what you're doing. I'm loving it.
Thank you, and you too as well. What you're doing is absolutely amazing. My sister sort of brought me to your attention and what you're doing, and I'm so glad that she did that, because how you're helping people, and I know you as well as we have a commonality in terms of interest and with mental health, and you know, wanting to help people in that regard. You know, so yeah, it's really amazing. Priyesh, if people want to collaborate with you or get hold of you, is there a way they can do that on?
Yeah, man. Just find me on Instagram at UnclePri_, or if you want to find me get in touch with me on my website in regards to coaching services, it's just www.coachingwithpri.com. But you can find it all on Instagram, and you can just see all the content I'm posting out there with videos and posts all about personal growth and stuff like that. So definitely reach out to me on there. I appreciate this, Rio. This has been sick, man. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it so much. Appreciate it heavy, man. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, it's PRIYESH Patel joining us on Cup of Tea, checking out. All his information will be in the description. See you later, guys.
Peace.